What's up, guys? That right there is finally my 2024 Chevrolet Trax 1RS, and we're gonna do a quick review of the vehicle. I know it's been a minute, and just a note, anything that, because I've done some personal things to this vehicle, I'll leave a link in the description down below. So here we go. Part of the 1RS trim, so let me break it down for you. So the 1RS trim specifically, what you get is you get the 18-inch machine front front face wheels, the gloss black inserts, gloss black mirror caps. You don't get the roof rack, which is also kind of standard on the LS as well. You don't get the roof rack either. You get the gloss black Trax, Trax logo, name, make in black, blacked out bow ties, the RS badging, this gloss black section right here. I think on the LT and even on the RS, sorry, LT and LS, those are all it's like a flat silver color. You also get this smoked out grill section right here, the black bow tie, but the RS badging as well. One con I will say with this, guys, with the smoke black, this is gonna eventually start chipping off, coming off. It's a film that's put on there from the factory. It will start to come off after a little while, just from driving. What I recommend, eventually, and it's going to start looking horrible when it all starts coming off. I've seen it on some of the GMC Terrains that had this. It looks nice, but then after a while, it just starts looking ugly. I did find a gloss black. If you want that, you can black it out, and you ain't got to worry about that anymore. That's something to look into as well. I do have this hood bug, I guess, protector thing. I think it was another eBay or Amazon purchase. I'll have to go through my receipts, but I'll leave a link in the description below. So right here you got an LED high beam, low beam, and you got your turn signal indicators. But if you go with the LT on higher, this is all LEDs, LED strip, and then you still have the same LED balls, but then the turn signal indicators are integrated in this. But with the 1RS and the LS, your turn signal indicators are in here. I did, however, add some LOSFET switchbacks. So when the DRLs are on, it's white, but then if you turn your turn signals on, it switches over to the turn signal, the amber light. So it goes between the white light and the amber light. Whereas in before, it would just be the amber light that would act as your DRLs, and then they would switch over when you would, they would start flashing when you went to use your turn signal. I gotta mention this right here. So I'm kind of a Dragon Ball nerd, and I went to, I believe it was Art Station. And that right there is Future Trunks. I believe it's from the Super variant, but it's one of my favorite characters. But I found this on ArtStation.com. I think it was under front license plate, Dragon Ball front license plate. They had all kinds of stuff. They had Capsule Corp logo. They had the Red Ribbon Army. They had a bunch of different stuff. But Trunks is my dude, so I had to show love to him for that. All right, guys. Now we're gonna go under the open up the hood. I'm gonna show you what else. I'm gonna show you what's packing under this beast. Okay. Now, you're going to notice something different on here that you don't get on the base, on I guess the stock Chevy Trax. Hood struts, y'all. I highly recommend you get these. These were an Amazon purchase. I actually found out about these through another Chevy Trax owner. by that I believe is the YouTube's name, and I'll leave it in the description, but I think it's Hey Paulie. He is a Chevy Trax black version of the 1RS. And yeah, so Paulie, this is a shout out to you, brother. Yeah, so here we go. Push strut's definitely a must. This right here, this is the cable that controls your auto stop start. Now I will do a video. There is a bypass wire you can use to mitigate that, to disable it, but I did run into some issues with that, and I'll create a short about why you might want to avoid disabling this. All right, and that's in relation to if you have to do a battery reset, things to look out for. Okay, but under the hood, this is the 1.2 liter turbo 3-cylinder. It makes about 137 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds anemic. Let me be honest with you. I get what you're saying, because before I traded my Blazer in, I was a little bit on the fence. I'm like, this thing is already small. I heard people saying it was already kind of slow. I don't know if it's, because I was coming from a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated going down to a 1.2. However, the single thing that made me to go with this vehicle, not just the price point, was between 0 to like 45, 55. This thing scoots. It's not fast. You're not winning drag races. I think it tops out at 115. 0 to 60. I've seen numbers as low as in the high 8s to low 10s, which for a vehicle that weighs about 3,000 pounds, that's not bad, guys. This is coming from a guy who had a 92 beat up Ford Ranger with the Vulcan 3 liter. This thing scoots. I didn't have any issues getting on the freeway or anything like that. It's solid. It gets up. I don't have any issues or complaints with that. But because of that higher torque number, the torque is what you feel. That's what makes it fun. That's where you when you get on it, around city, that this thing is fun as hell to drive. And I mean that. I'm not, I'm being honest with y'all. Beyond, 55, 60, yeah, the power, quickly drops off. So driving around the city, suburbs, this thing is fine. Long family hauling trips, long trips, it might not be for you. It does have a sportier ride compared to what I had in the Blazer, so you're gonna feel more, the bumps. Doesn't bother me much. It's not like it's crashing or anything like that, but yeah, I definitely enjoy it. So that power number, and people, I said different things. Honestly, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly adequate. No problems for me, to be honest. Let's see. One thing I did add on here too was a Canon drop-in air filter, because they don't make any aftermarket cold air intakes right now. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, let's keep it 100%. You're not getting a cold air intake for more power. You're getting a cold air intake so you can hear for sound. Let's just keep it a buck, man. Unless you're getting it tuned, you're just getting it for the sound. That's okay. I like the sounds too. I'm a sucker for that. But yeah, this is fairly easy to do too. You got 4 bolts, 4 Phillips head screws. Where's that sucker at? 2, 3, and 4. What I don't like though is you got metal screws going into a plastic housing. Over time that eventually that shit's gonna crack, or it's not gonna hold down as well, because it's you got metal going to plastic. I wish GM would stop doing that. I would rather have had just clips. It just clips in there. Yeah, that was kind of a weird thing to get to. But in order to get to that, you got to remove this. So this is where I was telling you about getting those plastic removal tools off of Amazon, specifically for the Trax. They have a special tool you can get up in there. So I try using a flathead, and you can easily break these or snap this portion. You pop this off, and then you got a little clip right here. and two on either side, and you just gotta pop that off. It's essentially a snorkel. It's where your part of your air intake is coming through, and you can just take this air intake section, and then you get access to your air filter. I don't know why they gotta do all that, but you know, yeah. Hello, what's going on here? Okay, yeah, battery right here. Here's all your fuses. There's a computer right over there. You do have, looks like you do have a dipstick for your oil, so that's good. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. All right, y'all. So this is the door card. So right off the bat, here's what's going on. This portion right here was the same texture and color as this. I ended up putting a gloss black. I know, cardinal sin of modern day vehicles. You don't use gloss black on anything. All right. But anyways, I like the color contrast between this and the rest of the vehicle, or the rest of the door card. I also added this carbon fiber overlay for your control panels. I think it looks nice. I also, throughout the vehicle, I got these little inserts that have a red line contrast. I think they look pretty damn cool. You can see one over here where your cup's at. Overall, I like the way it looks. I think it looks cool. Now I will say this is a lot of flat black, or a lot of texture black, but it's all hard. Definitely doesn't help with noise cancellation. You definitely hear this creaking a little bit driving down the road. This right here is like a rubberized material. You know, I don't really put my arm on it too much. I mostly put it on the armrest, but you know, this will do the job. It's solid. Not really sure how well it'll hold over time, but we'll see. And then you got this contrast right here that you'll see throughout the vehicle, at least the front portion of it. This, I guess, I wouldn't even call it gloss. It's like I guess you can say almost a matte finish painted trim piece. Certain areas of the vehicle I'm going to point to looks extremely cheap, which is why if you don't like the cheap interior from the LS and the 1RS, you might want to step up to the LT or higher, to be honest with you. Now moving along, I got these seat covers. These are a Walmart special. I love it. I like the contrast colors, the theme, the red theme used throughout. They're comfortable. I had them for a few months. They work good. Getting in here, we're talking about the steering wheel. So the steering wheel, I believe, is out of the Trailblazer, but it does have a heating steering wheel. You do have your controls for your cruise control, lane keep assist. You got your buttons right here for your phone. You can use this to control the volume. As you can see, the black bow tie is part of the 1RS package. You got the steering wheel cover right here. This was a eBay buy. I'll leave the link in the description below. And one of the big things you will see with the 1RS and the LS is analog gauges, man. So I'm gonna start the vehicle up for you. Mind you, well, let's start it up. Here's your key. There's no proximity. This isn't a proximity key, so no push button start. It's a switchblade. It does have a remote start on here. Lock, unlock, panic button. And you just stick it right over here. Bam, turn. You see all your information. See all your information right here in that model schematic screen. Got your tach, your fuel gauge to the left, center. You got your information screen, which shows your trip. And if you scroll, this is how you scroll. through that right here, through turning this knob on this turn stalk. It shows your fuel economy, instantaneous fuel economy, fuel range, your trip, your speed, and if you press the select, it takes you over to the vehicle options. So now it shows you your tire pressures, air filter life, remaining oil life. You can change the units from US to I guess kilometers. Tire. Oh, and this is where your traction and stability controls are at. You can turn them on and off through this screen. Following distance, and that following distance is tethered to that. You can control that if you want to have that enabled. And yeah. And if you get any notifications up here, you're gonna press this button right here, and it'll essentially, allows you to essentially tell that's your select to turn, to select whatever you're trying to do. So this thing does have the automatic auto high beams. The way you got to do it, you have it set to auto. You're gonna want to press forward twice, and you're gonna see a green light that's gonna say it has like an automatic, that the automatic auto high beams will come on. And then it'll turn off if it detects traffic coming your way. So there's that. Coming over to the screen over here. Now I already know what you're thinking. This is definitely not a part of the 1RS. That was a separate item that I purchased. It was an eBay purchase. Don't judge me, but judge me if you want. I like the color contrast. And the reason why I added this, they had different ones. They had a carbon fiber, had a gloss black one, whatever. I like the red because it kind of tied in some of the red trim, as you see through here and over here. So I thought it looked, I think it looks cool, honestly. It creates a focal point that I thought was nice, not overly used. But yeah, so anyways, your control vents, everything is manual. The temperature to the left, fan speed in the center, and where to send it to on the right. Now, one thing about these dials, I'm going to tell you right now, specifically where to send it to. When it gets cold out, this thing becomes tough to turn. I've never had that in any other vehicle in the past when you had to use a turn dial where that became harder to use if the temperature was colder out. Let me know in the comments below if that's a normal thing, or is that just GM being cheap and being GM. I say cheap in the most loving way because most of my vehicles I've owned were GM products. But I'm gonna, call a spade a spade. I don't know why this gets harder to use. Again, it's all manual. But yeah, when it gets cold out, it's it gets hard to turn. But, you had to throw a little bit of muscle to it. And, so you're kind of thinking you're gonna break it, but yeah. But over here, you got your actual volume knob. You can turn it off. Whoa. Over here, you got your volume knob. Over here, you got your volume knob right here. Press the center to turn it off. Here's your main screen. This is the 8-inch screen. Here's the screen. It's 8 inches. If you go to the LT on up, you get I think it's 11-inch screen. But this is fine. You've seen this in the Blazers, the previous GM products in the last, I think from 2018, 2019 on up till like more recent. Probably the last 2 years they switched over to the new system. But this is fine. This occasionally will glitch where you'll be driving and the parking, the reverse camera will stay on. Or the radio won't turn off, so you have to turn the key off and let it sit for like 15-20 minutes, and it'll eventually kind of reset itself. But yeah, system's pretty easy to use. You go into your home settings, right? You have your audio, your phone, your Wi-Fi. This does offer Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, I believe, wirelessly. And if you go into your settings, you can see in here the different options you have. Apps, Android Auto, CarPlay, you can set it if you want, to do it wirelessly. Your vehicle stuff, the options you have right there. That's pretty cool. And then coming over here, you got a glove box. Yeah, kind of small. Not locking. You got your two. You got one USB and one USB Type C, and I believe the other one. And then you have power outlet. As you can see, I have my little dongle thing for my cam, my dash cam. And you can also see I got my aluminum pedals. Those aren't from the factory. These were eBay purchased. I wasn't gonna spend $100 for some aluminum pedals, so I'll leave information in the description below where you can get these at on eBay. And then, as you can kind of see right here and right here, gloss black, overlays for your gear selector and your center console area. This underneath this was like a matte black, same material as this. It looked kind of boring and dull. I didn't want to do red because I just felt like it would have been overpowering. And I know it's a cardinal sin to put gloss black, but to be honest, I think in this vehicle, to break it up a little bit color-wise, I think it looks good. And I was very particular on why I put the gloss black at. Anyways, I like it, definitely contrast with this painted silver. I also got the cup and the bottle inserts. Got a little storage right here. I got an insert right here too. Here's your center console. This right here is also a cover. Underneath it is the rubberized material found on the door, armrest section of the door. So, but this right here, another eBay purchase. You got a little bit of organizational tray, eBay purchase. And it's fairly deep. As you can tell right there, another, I got another insert right there. Okay, then looking up, bam, you got your mirror. No lighting, no lights integrated in the mirror. Okay, and these do pop open, but they do not extend. Cost cutting, but it is what it is. Okay, so about to show you the lighting, but here you go. Bam, switch, lighting. That is an LED. And those are LEDs in the back under the dome light. So stock, these come with the stock come with the incandescent bulbs. I swapped these out as well as other incandescent bulbs in this vehicle. They're a company called Lasfit, Lasfit. They're based out of California. I've been using them for a long time. I used them in my previous vehicle, my Honda Civic. If you have any issues, the customer service is really good. I'm not paid to say that. I'm just being honest with you. I love them, and I'm telling you right now, if you get the LS and the 1RS, which is what I currently have, swap these out. And I also recommend buying, and I'll put them in the description below. I recommend getting the plastic tool removal, trim removal pieces or whatever through Amazon. They come handy, so you're not damaging the different components in here. If you're trying to swap out bulbs, so they're really affordable too. I highly recommend it. But yeah, these are LED bulbs. They work great. I also got them in the cargo department, and I'll show you them later. They work great. Love them. Great. Awesome stuff. What else? Oh, yeah, we'll go over here. So you do have your auto stop start button, turn it off. Lane keep assist. You got your parking, electronic parking brake right there. This is a manual tilt and telescope. It's just, oh my goodness. Yep, manual tilt and telescopic wheel. So, Okay. Light controls I said earlier. This is the dim brightness. Let's see. On the door card, you do have your power mirrors. Got the lockout. This has the express down windows for all four, but not express up. You got the old crap handles over there, and I believe these speakers is part of the sound deadening technology in here. To kind of, you know, I haven't noticed a difference, but I'm sure if they weren't in here, you'll probably hear a little bit more of the road noise. Yeah, but let's go sit in the back. Alright guys, back seat area. Similar theme I had going on, along with the door card. Got this gloss black kind of overlay, purchased from eBay. Don't care, I like the way it looks, as well as the carbon fiber insert around the window controls. Got some more inserts with the red contrast. Got this rubberized material, hard plastics. That is going to be something I'm going to see throughout this vehicle. You will hear some creaks and rattles because of the, you know, the lack of soft touch materials, which I don't care for. But if creaks and rattles is your thing, probably don't go for the 1RS or the LS trims. But for me, this I can live with that. Yeah, let's go sit in the back. Okay, so one of the reasons why I got this vehicle too is you have so much damn leg room. Like, holy crap. I mean, that is, you know, I'm 5'10", so yeah, plenty of leg room. These right here, because you don't have a mat back pocket on either the passenger, so these right here, because you don't have mat pockets in these seats, I had purchased these. Literally, I got these from Dollar Tree, guys. $1.50 a piece. You know, little cargo holders, throw your trash in here. You know, they're awesome. I like them. They're cool. Again, you got the dome light right there. Two individual bulbs, one on each side, whereas the front is one singular. Let's get your sound deadening, sound cancellation speaker right there. You don't get any climate vents back here. We got a little bit of a storage nook. No fold down armrest right here. You do get your little bottle holders back here, and got the inserts. Honestly though, guys, with you having a flat floor, dude, it's not bad back here. It really isn't. It's actually not bad at all. Like you have so much freaking leg room, it's not even crazy. Oh, and these are the floor mats. These I did have to order from the dealership when I got this, as well as the front mats. The front rubberized all-weather mats. I also have in the cargo area as well. I'll show you later. Those are really cool to have, good to have too, especially if you're in the Midwest, you get snow and everything. It's nice to just kind of try to keep your car clean. That's pretty much it, guys. Not gonna lie, I don't sit back here much. You know, damn. Seat comfortability is okay. I mean, it's cushiony, but I don't know how long. I don't know how it'd be good like long term. But it's got a little cushion to it, a little bit of padding. These definitely do not recline, but that's okay. But you do like, again, short road trips, these would probably be good. I'm not sure again about long term, but yeah, guys. All right, so I got some stuff right here. The net was not included, that was extra. I think it might have been like $20-30, but definitely like having this little bit of organizer right there. As you can tell, weatherized mat is all in the front. If you I'll put down the specs, the total cubic feet with the seats up, and then with the seats are down, I'll put that information up on the screen. But it's a crap ton of space. Honestly, like you got some no storage area over here, and then storage area right here. I got some of my cleaning stuff, and then underneath this mat, you do get a full size. Well, you get a spare tire. I don't want to say full size. The switch to drop the seats is right here, manually. That is your courtesy light for the back. That's an LED bulb I swapped out too. The bulb for the cargo area and the dome lights in the front and rear, they all use the same light bulb. So I think if you just get like a 4-pack, you're good. You're solid. So really affordable. Definitely a must-have. Again, the LED, the incandescent bulbs. It was so dim in here. I was really surprised. Like, it made such a big difference. But yep, that's pretty much it. All right, guys. So the question really is, should you get the 2024 on up for the Chevrolet Trax? Okay, so I'm gonna say yes, but we're gonna put an asterisk right by that, because so the car looks great. I think it looks great on the outside, especially. Even with like the lower trims, like the LS, you know, you can get them with the wheel covers, the 17-inch wheel covers, or you can get the silver painted 17-inch wheels alloy wheels on there. It looks good, you know, for a simple vehicle, simple transportation for, you know, college graduate, you know, retired, you know, individual, or if you're just a type of person where you have your fun car and then you just want something you can, you know, go back to work and back and forth to work, or drive around town, you know, pretty easily. But the thing about this vehicle is, and I'm gonna post other videos, there are some shortcomings which might deter you from getting this vehicle. One is this vehicle is imported from South Korea, you know, from the South Korean division of General Motors. And I can speak from experience, and if you've been through this before, comment down below. Parts are hard as hell to get for this thing. Case in point, I had some issues happen last year, and my car had to get some body work done. Well, I had to wait almost 2 months for certain body panels to get shipped in, on top of I had to wait for the manufacturer to be able to ship those items out. And, you know, had they already had these on hand, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But my car was, you know, waiting in the shop. I mean, we're waiting on parts, God, for like, from like September all the way, end of September to like, we're talking like mid-November. Even to try to get windshield wiper blades for this thing, you can't go to your local AutoZone or O'Reilly's or Advanced Auto Parts to pick these up in store. You got to order from the dealership. That might deter you from getting this vehicle, if I'm being honest. And I think it's important people know this, so they have that knowledge that they can take with them when shopping around for a vehicle. But outside of that, for me personally, you know, with the other trims, with the LT, the 2RS, and the Active, those have the nicer interiors, but it's some of the material finishes that I'm a little bit nervous of, which is why I didn't go for them. See, with the 2RS, the Active and 2RS, they have like the chrome finishes on the inside, and I started seeing this happen to my Blazer. some of the chrome bits on the interior stuff would start to lift up over a period of time. You would start seeing bubbles forming on some of the chrome trim on the interior side of things. And then on the exterior side, I'm already seeing it with my grill, as I mentioned earlier when I was doing the review, is the smoke grill, however the process is for that, it's really easy to scratch or flake off after a couple of years. If you've ever seen some of the GMC Arcadias with that smoked finish, you'll see, like, you'll see some of it flaking off. I had a coworker that had that happen too. And really the only way to really mitigate that is if you get like an overlay, like a gloss black overlay, some sort of overlay where it's not going to be susceptible to that I guess flaking away essentially. It ends up making the vehicle look really ugly. When it's brand new, it looks great, but that flaking off, they use a lot of that smoked, I guess you could say, layer on the Chevrolet Active, and honestly with the 1RS and 2RS models. But with the 1RS, it's only on the front, grill portion. But on the LS, it's just a chrome grill. That's it, a lot simpler. But for me personally, if you're gonna go for like a higher end, honestly, I feel like the best price point for this Trax, for me personally, will be the 1RS and LT models, because you start getting into the 25, the 2RS, the Actives. Now you're averaging with destination and taxes and title stuff, you're looking at almost a $27,000 vehicle for a sub to compact crossover. And honestly, I would look elsewhere, to be honest. I would even look at maybe to like the sister, the Buick Envista, because the materials are nicer on the inside. Like I said, there's a lot of plastic bits in here, especially in the LS and 1RS. There's a lot of plastic bits in here, and it's gonna creak. You're gonna have creaking issues. Some people were saying in the reviews, in the initial reviews, oh, it's not creaking, not now, but over time, especially if you're driving like here in Michigan on our roads, you go over a few bumps after a year or so, you're gonna start hearing creaking in this vehicle. I'm just being honest with you. But if you don't mind that, and you just want something that looks good, that's affordable, it's got a little pep in its step, I would honestly probably stick around with the 1RS or LT. So just be mindful for that. But I've enjoyed it. Like I said, I put almost 6,000 miles on this. It's been a really good vehicle. But yeah, so those are my thoughts, guys. I know I was kind of rambling a lot, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Also want to make a mention too. I got some merch coming out in the near future. Window stickers coming out. So look forward to those. Definitely will help the channel out. It's just me. I am a party of one doing all this, with these no budget productions. So yeah, I got some cool designs coming out, and something you can sport on your vehicle, on your bumper or windshield or on the body of the car. But yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, again, leave a comment in the section down below. What were your thoughts of the Trax? Do you have one? How's it been treating you? I think it's good for us as a community, for other Trax owners, to share our experiences and being honest, both the good, the bad, the ugly with these things. Yeah. All right, guys, have a good one.
Alright guys, I told you I would show you what the last fit reverse LED bulbs look like on this thing. Bam, check that out. Way brighter, but it's not blinding bright for your reverse lights, but they stand out enough, right, compared to those amber lights. They look great. I don't have any errors where you go to reverse and you go to drive and then the backup camera stays on and your infotainment screen. Not having any of that. All right, y'all, I'm gonna show you what the what the switchbacks for your DRLs look like in the front. Alright guys, so those are the DRLs, right, with the switchbacks right there. Sorry, I forget. Was there? So the amber lights with the original ones, they would just stay the amber color. Now, if I activate the turn signal, there you go. You have the white light, but then you go into their amber mode, indicating the turn signal indicator. Guys, I've been running these for a few months now. I've had no issues with these at all, so I highly recommend y'all.